But we try.
Is there anything you want to talk about today?
Not really. I mean, I'm quite excited from because this is a different type of podcast that, I mean, I don't do a lot of podcasts. I usually do like very chill, about comedy and stuff, but it would be quite interesting to talk about career.
Career. Hey everyone, before we begin this next episode of the Hello Mentor podcast, I just want to say if you're job searching or hiring, check out hiredly.com. We are not just another job platform. We make it easier to find the jobs that people actually want, and we help companies stand out to hire the right talent. So there's a lot of smart tech and there's a lot of human touch. That's Hiredly. So you can head to hiredly.com and give it a go. Okay, hello. Hey everyone. It's another episode of the Hello Mentor podcast, and we have Arieff Yong with us here today. Hello,
Yes,
Arieff.
hello, yes. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here. Early in the morning, not too early, but yes, still for me.
I love meeting you in person. I mean, I watched your content from some time ago, in fact.
Yeah, thank you. And my content progresses throughout the years, different types.
Right. I first discovered you when you were doing you're having a bit of fun with the British style of like eating and the aristocratic way. No, not eating, like the way.
Okay.
What's the word? I don't know. Like the
Etiquette. Etiquette, my friend. Yes, that's it.
As someone who's lived in Britain for very long, I just thought, oh, that's hilarious. Like,
You lived for how long?
I was there about 10 years.
10 years, and you don't have a British accent. That's applaudable.
Thank you.
Because sometimes people go there for like 1 month and then suddenly, woo, I'm from Malaysia.
I had when I was there, I had a very neutral international accent. So it's not exactly British, but I remember when I came back to Malaysia, I lost it so fast.
Really?
Yeah. I just normalized to the Malaysian.
I kind of get what you mean because it depends on the environment, right?
Right.
Yeah, because for me, my content, I started with accents. And then it's so weird. Like, people might find it so weird, but it's also so weird for me because when I speak to you, I will automatically change my accent to adapt to the Malaysian accent.
Right.
Last time, maybe. But now, whenever I speak to someone, let's say French, I will try it. I will automatically have like a French accent. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, because I play paddle with like a lot of people from different backgrounds of the world. And I remember one time I played a guy who was British, and then I had the most British accent ever. And then he asked me like, "Oh mate, are you from the UK?" And I said, "No." So that was weird, like he might think I'm making fun of him or something, But then I had to explain, "Oh no, sorry, I'm a creator, I do accents and stuff." But yeah, it's so funny.
Have you always been like good at accents?
I think so. I think when I grew up, when I was in high school or teenager, I think I was, because I would sometimes copy what I see on TV.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's British. It started with British in Harry Potter, actually. And because I was so drawn into the accent, I tried to imitate the accent. But then over the years, as more TV I watched, I tried to imitate other accents. Example, I was watching like maybe something related to the Russian accent. So I'll try to do like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, And then I grew up playing games as well, on the computer. So like story games like GTA Vice City last time, And then they have different characters. And I will try to imitate. I don't know why. So I guess, yeah. But if you have to ask me what was how did I discover this or how did I do it? I would say Kumon. You know Kumon?
Kumon?
Yeah, the tuition.
Yeah. How?
So I don't know if you know this, but Kumon teaches English and maths. So in Malaysia, we have what we call as MUET, right? The English test. And in Kumon, they teach you at a very young age to do listening, speaking, and also like writing. So I think my mom enrolled me in Kumon when I was like 7 years old, 8 years old, pretty young. And then I think that's why my comprehension skills in terms of what I hear and what I understand and what I say is really good. Is because when I was in Kumon, I remember I hated the maths, by the way. But I love the English, because the English you have to put the CD and then you just listen and then you hear and then you have to say it again. So at a very young age, you have that comprehension skill. So I guess that's why it became like a talent.
I guess right. So you are very good at observing what someone is saying or doing. And
so if you give me anyone, like let's say Gordon Ramsay or whoever, if I listen to them, if I listen to them, I can imitate them word for word. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. It's interesting. Isn't
Right.
it?
And I suppose as you're growing up, was it kind of just like a fun thing to do and all that?
Yeah, it's more. It started off like as a prank. I remember my first viral video. I went to a drive-through, and then I thought, why not just order it in a British accent, just for fun, So I did it, and I recorded myself, and then somehow that blew up. That's crazy. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What were you supposed to be from a traditional career sense?
Oof. Well, before I became a content creator, I was a flight attendant for AirAsia for about 3 years.
Oh.
And then at that time, I didn't really do any videos. Like it wasn't really a thing because TikTok wasn't here yet. And then Instagram haven't really released Reels. I think at the time it was just Vine at the time. But yeah, it was 3 years with AirAsia and then I moved to Singapore Airlines for 2 years. So I think that kind of helps me with the accent as well because you meet people from different countries. So when you hear them talk, like, what is my seat number? So you kind of like, oh, okay, that's how they say it. And I remember I actually got in trouble one time when I was with AirAsia. I just go back from an India flight, and I kind of unintentionally made fun of the Indian accent. Yeah, and I got in trouble for that. So no more.
Right.
So I learned my lesson. So no more.
Right. Like humor is it's like I think I asked Arvind Skanda this question also, but he's like it's figuring out what that line is.
Yeah,
right?
true. Especially, I mean, when you talk about like races, the 3 R's, right? You don't really. I mean, I try not to touch it nowadays, but at the time, I don't even know what was the 3 R's, blah, 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 But now, obviously, I'm more aware of it.
Right.
So now I try to be more careful, just laying the gray line.
So you were a flight attendant for like 5 years. And then how did that transition happen?
Well, because of COVID. So when I was with Singapore Airlines, I think it was 2019, COVID happened and then they stopped the flights, the border and everything. So Singapore Airlines, at the time, they did a mass hiring. Like they hired a lot of people from different parts of the world. And then I was one of them. But because of that, they didn't expect COVID happened. So they had an overflow of cabin crews. So because of that, they had to let go. But before they let go, they offered like an unpaid leave. I wouldn't say unpaid leave, but like a cut. So I was just receiving basic. And the basic, I remember it was just 1,600 Sing dollars, which if you live in Singapore, it's like you can't really survive on that. I remember surviving after rent and everything. I was surviving with like $500 for a month. So it was brutal. But luckily for me, I'm a PC gamer, so I just stayed home and played games all day. But after a few months, the email came in the morning saying that, okay, the situation is not getting better, so we have to commence retrenchment. And unfortunately, I was one of them. So I had no choice to basically go back to Johor, where I'm from. And then after that, I was jobless for about 6 months, and that's where I started doing videos and stuff just for fun. And then it became a career to where I am now.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Blessing in disguise.
Blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like sometimes, like people like a bad thing happens, but it leads to something that's
Yeah, I mean, obviously at the time you don't see it, right? You think like, oh, my life is over. What am I gonna do now? You know. But then I don't know. With the support of my family, and then they've always been supportive, and I just made videos for fun, blah blah blah. And then at the time TikTok just came for like a year, so I was never into TikTok. I was never into posting at the time. My Instagram was still my Instagram, like personal Instagram. But yeah, because of TikTok and with time in my hands, I was just surviving with the severance. Oh, sorry, I was just surviving the severance package. I had no income whatsoever.
Right.
I was just doing videos, and little by little, it took off. Yeah.
Nice. Were you? Did you not want to look for another job immediately?
Yeah, that's the thing, because my diploma was in contemporary science. So it's not really something that you could do anything with at the time.
What? I've never heard of
Yeah,
contemporary science.
Yeah. So well, the thing is how I started it, even becoming a cabin crew was, I remember because my dad, right after my diploma, my dad asked me, do you want to continue studying or do you want to work? So if you want to study until you can't study, just carry on studying, okay? But if you want to work, you have to find a career instead of a job. So at the time, I was maybe 21, I think. I really didn't know what to do, but I knew that I wanted to work. I was sick of studying. I wanted to, earn money. So, and at the time as well, I didn't really know what type of job I'd want. It was until my brother told me that he has friends from the airline, like AirAsia, at the time. And then that's why he told me, oh, AirAsia is having an interview, next week or something. Sorry, let me rephrase. Singapore Airlines.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Singapore Airlines. So initially I wanted to apply for Singapore Airlines, and I was already preparing all the documents and blah, blah, blah. But then a week before the interview for Singapore Airlines, my brother told me there's an interview in AirAsia in 2 days at the airport. And I live very near the airport. And then my brother said, why don't you just try it? You never know, you might get it. But my mind was already set for Singapore Airlines, So I just went to the interview, and I got it. And I find that, and the reason why I become a cabin crew is because I found out that it could be a career instead of just a job, because you could be a cabin crew and then you'll be promoted to a senior cabin crew, and then from that, if you do a really good job, you could go into their corporate office.
Oh, is that what happens? I've always wondered.
Yeah. It's it's rare, but if you're really good and you're really like a team player type of thing, you can go into you can become an instructor if you want to. If they offered you can go into management, and blah blah blah. Same goes to Singapore Airlines, except Singapore Airlines is more wider because it's a bigger company. My plan before the retrenchment happened, before COVID, was to become a cabin crew. And then after 5 years, I get promoted to, I think they call it, I don't know the term, but basically senior cabin crew, let's say. And then from there, you get promoted again to chief. And then after chief, you become an in-flight manager, which is like the top dog, number one, the one in charge of the whole flight. And then even if you don't want to go that path, you can go from, let's say you become a senior cabin crew, you become a chief, and then you go into management. So there's a lot of branches that you can go from Singapore Airlines. And I believe with every other full service airlines as well, because it's a full service airline. But that was a plan. And I remember my supervisor at the time, the one who was in charge of me, he already mapped out my career journey with Singapore Airlines. Okay, Arieff, if you do a good job, in 3 years, you'll be taught how to, handle business class. And then after 5 years, I can recommend you to go to, senior cabin crew. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And the money was good as well, So that's what the plan was, and then the retrenchment happened. And then that's why, sorry, can you cuss in this podcast?
You can, they'll bleep it out later.
Okay, then probably not, yeah. So that was the plan. Before COVID happened and messed it up, everything. Yeah.
Right. So you said contemporary science. You became a flight attendant, cabin crew.
Yeah.
Now you're a content creator. Like careers are, would you say it's very unpredictable? You didn't even know you're going to be.
Yeah, it's
crew
really,
stuff.
really unpredictable. So the thing is, I was always into, my hobby was actually doing videos. At the time, YouTube. I actually had a YouTube channel called APTV. You can still find it on YouTube now, but it'll be very embarrassing for me.
What's on it?
So, when I was in high school, I remember maybe 14 or 15 years old, I had a best friend. His name is Sophie. Not Sophie as in girl, okay? He's a boy. So we both like to make videos. And at the time, we had another friend who had a DSLR, like a cheap, I think Canon or Nikon, I'm not sure. So we just figured, let's just do some stupid videos. And at the time, I remember the film Jackass came out. And then we were thinking, oh, maybe we can do something similar. You know, we can go to the malls and, you know, do stupid stuff in the malls in public. So me and my friend was like, oh, okay, that sounds good. So we went and do it. And then I edited it using Premiere Pro at the time. It was very technical, very mechanical. So it took a long time to edit just one video. And to upload at the time with the internet that we had last time, I think it was like maybe 300 Mbps max. That was the best. But I think at the time I had like 100 Mbps. So it took a very long time. I remember uploading one video size of like, let's say 700 MB. It took me about like half an hour. So, but I've always been into creating videos and stuff. So initially, before I took the diploma, I applied to Aswara, you know, to become a film director. But what happened was I had the interview, and then I think because I was nervous, I kind of like messed it up. Like I kind of botched that interview, because I remember there were two interviewers, and it was just me. And then he asked me a very simple question, which I can't answer. What's your favorite director? But obviously I would say like George Lucas from Star Wars, or, you know, Steven Spielberg. But then because I was so nervous, I was like, and because it was my first interview ever, you know, post high school. So obviously you're like, I don't know. So because of that, I didn't get into it. And then I felt like very bad, you know, like, oh no, maybe film directing is not for me, you know. It's like, oh, so sad. So I just, I just took whatever, how do you call it? Because sometimes after you SPM, you'll get like letters from different universities offering you some random diplomas. So that's what I did. So I one day I had a letter from this school, this college, and then they gave me the letter saying like, oh, we are proud. We want to enroll you in this. And then I asked my mom like, oh, should I take it? Should I take the offer? And then my mom said, yeah. At least you study, you know.
Very low expectation.
Yeah, at least you study, you know, at least you get a diploma rather than nothing. Because at the time I was jobless, obviously, I wasn't doing anything. So I took it and I finished it after 2 years and a half. But then post diploma, that's when my dad asked me about the question earlier. So yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, interesting. Right. And also, hearing your story about the interview, sometimes I find that, unfortunately, there's no perfect way to find the right talent. But because you were so nervous, actually you had the talent, but it just didn't come out.
Yeah. It's crazy how nervousness can affect you, like your whole personality. Because before that interview, I was already okay, I'm ready for this interview, I can do it. And then as soon as I walked in, I was like, I don't know. And it's so simple, you know, like, and he even asked me like, what's your local, he first asked me, what's your favorite local film director? And I said, oh, I don't know, because I don't really watch local films. And then that's red flag number one. And then number two, okay, give me your international favorite film director. And then, I don't know. So yeah, it all adds up. And then, I just walked out of disappointment.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess sometimes maybe it's a bit of I don't know whether practice helps and all that.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember my first interview was terrible too. Like I I can't remember what it was. He sort of asked me why should I hire you or something like that. And I replied like, oh, because I'm very hardworking. And that was it. And then like, and there was like silence for like 10 seconds.
It's a chat GPT.
Yeah. You know, and I remember coming out there. I mean, the rest of the questions, answers were like that. And I came out of the interview and I was chatting with my friend. He was asking me, oh, how was it? I said, it was great. I answered all his questions.
The interview is like, well, he sucks.
But it was terrible. But sometimes, yeah, like, you know, like it doesn't quite come out unless you got some practice or what.
But I've gotten better with interviews because I remember even with my AirAsia interview, my Singapore Airlines interview, I was much more confident. I guess it comes with experience, you know, because maybe the first two you feel like you're not doing a good job, so you learn through that experience, and you know, like such is life, you know, like with other life experience, you learn from your mistakes and stuff like that. So I think now, if I go to any interview, like let's say if I want to become a flight attendant again, I think I would nail it. No problem.
Right. I'm sure you can. Yeah. I'm sure you can nail it in any accent.
I know, right?
Which country do you want to hire me? Right?
You know, interesting story. When I was I have a lot of stories.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So interesting story. When I was in the Singapore Airlines Academy, learning how to become a cabin crew, I did the British accent, like almost all the time. And I was actually told off by one of the instructors. Like, she asked me, like, what's your real accent? And I was like, well, depends. You know, I can do a lot of accents. That's kind of my talent. And then she told me, like, okay, we would rather if you have your original accent, because if you do any other accent, you will sound like a phony. You know, people might be like, you know, cringe. You know, I was like, oh, okay. And at the time, I was like, maybe 23, 24, I think. So I was kind of like, and because I was in a new environment, a new country as well, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm like a sad little puppy, you know, like, oh, okay, I'll do whatever you say. But nowadays, if now she asked me the same thing, I'll be like, whatever, man, you don't know anything. I'll just do whatever, you know. Right. But yeah, it was quite interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
What does it mean to have the original accent?
Well, I think with accents, it changes over time depending on where you are, you know, depending on your environment. Because I know of a few people who are from Indonesia, who are from Malaysia, who lived in other countries, and then when they came back, and I'm talking about, maybe you're an exception, you know, they lived there for like 15 years, you know, 10 years, they come back with an accent when speaking English. So I think it happens. But your original accent could be like Malaysian, you know, Malaysian Chinese, Malaysian Indian, or even like Malaysian in general. But I guess it depends on the environment. Because I have a friend who lived in New Zealand for a very long time, and he's now living here for a few years now, and he still has that New Zealander accent when he's speaking English. Yeah, and the wife is American, who lived in America. The wife is Malaysian who lived in America for a very long time, and they moved here together, and then now she still has that American accent after so long, which is weird. Yeah. So that's why I say, like, it depends on the environment. Yeah.
Maybe I should try to bring it back.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. And I realize if you speak in a certain accent, people treat you differently. Yeah, it's true. I tell you.
Your version of the British accent's a very aristocratic one.
It's very posh.
It's very posh.
Yeah. It's a very, like you said, aristocrat. I love that. Yes, exactly. But that's just to make fun of the guy. So
it's so interesting. I mean, like that you grew up in Johor.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess it also helps though, because Johor, they don't really have an accent. Oh. They only have a slang.
They have a slang?
So yeah, like if you compare Terengganu and Kelantan, they have their own accent, right? So I think if I were from there, it would be a bit harder for me to adapt to the accent that I can do now, because I have like my mother tongue Malay, you know, and Johor and like Johor, Malacca, and maybe Malacca they do, like Johor, Selangor, KL, they don't really have an accent.
Right.
So it's easier for you to like, you know, it's like default settings, so you can just branch to whatever.
Default setting, right? It's like a very neutral.
Yeah, neutral, exactly.
Right. Oh, interesting. Oh, I never thought of that. Right. And then you did your videos, and then one of them blew up, which was the one where you ordered fast food. Is it?
Yeah,
Using
yeah,
an
that was the
accent?
first ever viral video.
Right. At what point did you think that, hey, actually this can be a thing?
It was when I started getting brand deals, like jobs, campaign jobs. So I was living in Johor with my parents, and then when I started doing videos and stuff, I started getting DMs and emails of restaurants and brands asking me if I want to do like brand deals, or like, we have a campaign for you, can you do this, blah blah blah. And at the time, I remember, because of my small following, I remember it wasn't much. So I had to go back and forth from JB to KL to do these jobs. And throughout the journey, that's where I thought to myself, oh, maybe I should move to KL and, do this full time. But obviously I couldn't do it just like that, because I kind of have to have like a backup plan, So what happened was, I was very lucky enough to meet this woman named Lisa, who was my ex-boss. She has a bunch of restaurants in KL, and she basically, she DM'd me saying like, we want you to promote our restaurant. Okay. And then I was like, okay. So I met them, and then we had like a introduction session with the team. And then she asked me like, okay, what's your plan? What's your plan in a few years? And then I told them, oh yeah, I would love to live in KL and do this full time. And then she said, oh, great, because we're looking for a content creator person to do our marketing. And I said, oh, great. Do you, I mean, do you want to hire me? And then she said, okay, yeah, let's see, it sounds good. So that's how it happened. So she basically offered me a job on the spot. Instead of just a review, she offered me a job with a decent pay. And she even let me stay in like one of the like house for like free for like 6 months.
Oh, nice.
To kind of like kickstart my career in KL.
Right.
So, and it wasn't even like a 9 to 5 job. It was because content creation, right? So you just go to the restaurant, shoot some stuff, post, blah, blah, blah. So it was kind of like a good balance for me to do that job and also do my own content creation job. So yeah, I owe to Lisa.
Oh,
so shout out to Lisa.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you did like a full-time social, not full-time, but kind of full-time social media exec.
Yeah. Nowadays they call it social media manager. That's the job title. So I was that back then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What is that? What's different between like doing content for yourself and like working as a social media person for a company?
Obviously, if I'm doing it for myself, I'm building my own brand. I'm the Arieff Yong brand. But if I'm working for another company, you're building that brand. Let's say I'm working for Grab, example. If I'm doing content for Grab, obviously the brand is Grab. So the way I think is slightly different. And because my content is more comedy, it's way like, it's a different from 1 to 10 from what I work. Because I remember the company I worked with, it's a restaurant, it's food. So I can't really put in comedy things inside at the time. So it's more like very corporate, like, buy 2 in 1 day. So I didn't really know how to like relate myself to that brand, to make it interesting for my followers. It's just that to me, all I know is food. It has to look very like salivating at the time, or ASMR. It's because if you look now, there's so many restaurants doing like comedy skits because they know that's how they get traction from the people. And that's the best way to basically put their brand out there. So I didn't know this at the time, but now I do. So like any other companies, no matter what type of company you are, if you do something comedy, example, Christy Ng. So Christy Ng, she's very smart in a way where she uses her staff to create comedy content, even though she sells bags. And the comedy she does, it works. She gets loads of views, but it doesn't necessarily mean people buy her bags. But that's not the main objective for her, I think. So I think her main objective is to do these videos, and then people are curious, like, oh, who is she? What does she do? That's where oh, she's Christy Ng. She does, she sells bags and stuff. So Yes, and I've noticed a lot of these businesses, like local businesses, doing the same thing, which is good.
Right, right. So sometimes the content itself doesn't have to match exactly what they're doing as a business or a job.
It's more for like brand awareness, I would
brand
say.
awareness.
Yeah.
You get known, and then people then start wondering what you actually do.
Yes, because I feel like there's a lot of misconception where people think if you have like a lot of views, it automatically translates to sales, which is actually not true, because like a lot of these agencies, when they hire like KOLs or influencers, they think that a lot of views means a lot of sales, which is a wrong way of thinking, you know. So to me, if you hire KOLs or influencers, it's more for brand awareness. You're trying to put your brand out there. That's why you hire all these KOLs and influencers. So, but if you want to translate directly to sales, you have to go a different way.
Right.
You know, unless you're doing affiliate marketing and stuff like that, live selling or whatever.
Right. And I'm just curious, since you've obviously grew up in Johor and now you live in KL, there are probably many Malaysians right now who are still living in their home state, right? And I mean, I know a lot of people come to KL like because maybe there are more jobs here, but a lot of them still stay. I don't know how do you think of this decision for someone? Maybe they're thinking, should I go to KL or should I not go or should I stay?
I think nowadays maybe not. It depends on what work you're trying to do. Because I feel like nowadays there are so many job opportunities that you can work remotely, and I'm not just talking in Malaysia. I'm talking about outside jobs as well. Because I know some people who are doing customer service, but they're doing it at their own home, you know, and in their own home. Their own like family house, you know, not even in KL. But last time maybe yes. Because KL is kind of like New York, right? Concrete jungle, you know, where dreams are made of, you know, if you go to KL, you made it, you know. But nowadays, I don't think it's the case anymore because, you know, obviously rent is going expensive. Everything's expensive. Grab expensive. You know, transport is also expensive. So there are a lot of things that you have to bear in mind before you take that leap. It's a big leap to take, right? Because at my time, when I decided to move, it was a big leap. But at the time, it was still okay. And I had like good support, you know. But I think nowadays, if you're thinking, you should really do like a pros and cons. Like, okay, if I'm earning, let's say 4,000 ringgit, how much is my rent? How much will be my bills? How much is my minyak and all, you know? But if you have the opportunity to work from home remotely, I would say just do that because you will be, one is the work-life balance will be much better. And also you would save more in a way because obviously rent outside of KL is much, much cheaper, isn't it?
Right.
Even if you don't live with your parents, you can still rent somewhere and it will still be so much cheaper than in KL.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And specifically to Johor, I actually lived in Johor for 2 years when I was very young. Not in JB, I lived in the Kota Tinggi, which is a bit north of JB. But now compared to like, this was like maybe 20, 30 years ago, I mean, Johor has developed so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, especially the city as well. I remember, because I'm from Kulai, so it's kind of like the outskirts of GB as well. And I remember not going back for like maybe 2 years because I was in KL. And then when I came back, I was like, whoa, ada Zeus Coffee sini. Ada mall, ada Switch lah, what lah. And I was like, at my time, tak ada. Like the mama I went to, like mama very rundown mama, but now the mama like very high class, using the card to pay lah, apa lah. So I was like, whoa. Well, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with how it's. I mean, we were there recently. We went to like Legoland and all that. And I was like, what's changed so much?
I haven't been for so long though. I think my parents did like a lifetime pass, like a yearly pass. I mean,
right.
I don't know how it looks like now. Maybe I should go to Legoland.
Oh, to Legoland. Oh, right. Oh, okay.
The Nusa Jaya, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Is that called Nusa Jaya?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I liked it. But so it's so basically I suppose right now because all the if you wanted to develop a career, I mean you don't necessarily have to be in KL. You can be.
Yeah, you can be.
You can be, but all the states are also developing a lot more now. And
true.
as you said, because of like remote work and all that, you can have.
And also, guys, we're living in 2026. The internet is fast. We have everything at the tip of our fingers. It's just I would say the opportunity is bigger than rather than like maybe 10 years ago. You know?
Right.
Nowadays, you go online and find a job, and you can do any kind of job online. You could be because I know a bunch of people who are doing video editing for a company outside of Malaysia as well. So what they do is they record like this podcast. They record, and then you guys are gonna be out of job. You don't do this lah,
Oh no! please give me some tips.
So they record like raw videos, and then they put it in the Google Drive, and then he edits it, and then they post it.
All right, let's look at the freelance editor.
Yeah, freelance. But then he's not even there shooting, he just edits. So I would say like acquiring a skill is important nowadays. Yeah. I wouldn't say it was as important last time, but nowadays it is very important to acquire a skill, whatever it is, and nowadays if you're into entertainment or media, social media, CapCut is a skill as well, because not everyone knows how to edit this and that, and so many other skills. Like customer service is also a skill. So yeah, acquire a skill. And language as well.
Languages.
Yeah, I know languages, they pay a lot, like translators and stuff, and it could be just online.
Right.
Yeah, because I was also one time in Job Street, like looking for a job,
Right.
Can I say Job Street?
Yes, you can. I don't know whether they would want us to bleep it out.
Okay, but yeah, anyways, that was the situation I was in.
Right. So what do your parents think of you now?
I think they're happy with it. Because obviously last time they were a bit old-fashioned, like, just find a job, but nowadays, and last time content creation wasn't really a thing. And I think nowadays it still really isn't a thing for like older generations. They think like it's just a hobby you do and it's not stable. Which I still agree, because content creation is not really a stable job unless you try and stay relevant for a very long time, which is hard, even for myself. So I think, but it's a good stepping stone. So it's a good stepping stone to do other stuff. Like you do content creation, you get some money, and then from there, you think about what you really want to do, and then you continue from there. So, example, Genie Boy. A very good example. He started off on YouTube, and then he branched out to open aspect ratios and stuff like that. And myself, I actually took his advice. I went to him and I asked him for some advice. I said like, what do you do? How did you start your own production? It started off as a production company, right? And then they branched out into influencer marketing. So that's how I kind of got the inspiration from.
Right.
To start Four Sons Media. So
right. Can you tell us about Four Sons Media?
Well, Four Sons Media is a creator agency that I started with a good friend of mine, Elaine, and her husband, Adrian. But they started together. I just joined after. But I was their first ever talent. I told her, Elaine, just open up a creator agency and I'll be your first talent, which thank God she listened to me. Thank God. And here we are now, a creator agency with over 30 plus talents, exclusive. And we are trying to sign more exclusive talents as well, trying to, increase our talent pool and basically branch out more as a company, But what we do is basically influencer marketing, as well as, we have our own podcast. We have Nasi Lemak Date, which I did with Ryan. And that is also under Four Sons Media because they help me in terms of the production as well. And we have the most of football FFP show with Kevin J. That is also under Four Sons Media. So we do a bunch of stuff, but mostly related to media.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, because it's interesting point. Right? I think a lot of people
drink Zeus coffee.
Yeah, you
or
can.
Is it like a brand?
They are our client. It's fine. Yeah. We like them. Yeah. So the a lot of people think just because you're popular, right? A lot of people know who you are, but monetizing it is very different, right?
Yeah.
And therefore, there's now your Four Sons Media and all that.
True.
And I just like for, I don't know how to word this question, but for the typical, let's say a young Malaysian who says they want to be famous, they want to, it's a thing, right? Want to be influencer. How do you paint the reality to them from a financial point of view?
It is very hard. I've been doing content for almost 8 years now, and I really didn't get my big break after like 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah. And before that, I was just like a small fish in the pond, you know. So it is very hard. It's
Right,
very hard
right.
unless you have the determination, the creativity, and the patience to do all this work, because you're not just doing videos for fun. You have to really learn about, let's say, the algorithm. You have to learn about script writing. You have to learn about videography. You have to learn about editing. It's all in one. It's all you know, to start with. You know, I started with just me and a phone. You know, that's it, right?
Right.
And nowadays you have like, I mean, if you have the funds, you can hire a videographer, blah, blah, blah. But I would say if you want to start, just start alone. This is you, yourself, and your mind and, and your phone. And you try to figure out, like, will it work or not? So, yeah. But I think nowadays it's oversaturated. There's so many content creators and influencers out there. And you can still do it though, because a lot of the brands are looking for micro content creators,
Right.
you know, to promote their brands. So I think if you want to do it, content creation, just try to find a niche is one thing, and just be yourself.
Right.
Because that's how I started.
How do you find a niche?
That's the thing, you have to ask yourself that, you know, because we have foodie, we have lifestyle, we have makeup, beauty, we have comedy, such as myself. We have so many. So you just find something that you are interested in. Like for me, I was always doing videos when I was in high school, like funny videos, okay? Hence why I chose comedy. And because I know how to do accents, and I leveraged that talent to do accents and then comedy. You know, because I could have done so many things with accents, but I feel like comedy is the best road to go with. Because let's say if I do acting with accents, because you can do acting with accents, right? I felt like it won't be interesting. Like people will say like, wow, you can do accents, but that's it. It's not really a shareable type of content. But comedy, you can. You find it funny, you want your friend to see it. And then if he finds it funny, he will share to his friend. So that's what I think would work best. But you can also do foodie. Foodie is also a big niche out there, because there's so many restaurants wanting a lot of creators to review their restaurants. And lifestyle, if you're good at makeup, I know some, and our own talent also is a beauty and makeup, I would say beauty creator, very good with transitions, blah, 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 which I don't think she's good at that since day one, you know. I'm sure she watched tutorials, you know, I'm sure she practiced a bit, then to where she is now. So yeah, it's just like, it takes a long time, but you can do it. You can still do it nowadays.
Right. Well, for you personally, of course, like you say, it took you 4 years until you sort of see some traction or that. But was there any one point where you felt like, like this is not for me actually, like I should give up? Does this creep in sometimes?
Honestly, no. No. I think it's because I like doing it. It was a hobby. It started off as a hobby, and I would never thought that something that I love doing would become my career. So remember, I started doing videos ever since I was in high school. So it was really, I've always loved doing this. So whenever I did it, I never think about money at the time. I was just like, because I enjoy doing it, you know, like, yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, no, I've never felt like, this won't work, blah, blah, blah. I always felt like, you know what, as long as I put the work, I'm sure something will happen.
Oh, you're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Very optimistic in that.
Love it. And earlier you mentioned something about, I mean, one common challenge of being a content creator is like you have to think about how to stay relevant all the time and all that. Like how do you kind of manage this?
I guess you have to adapt with whatever's happening online. You know, because I remember last time before I did all this British eating content, I remember doing comedy skits with accents. So it worked for a while, but then I noticed after like a few months, the views weren't that great, and then the engagement weren't that great. So initially I thought it was something related to the algorithm, or like maybe I was shadow banned or something. But apparently not. because lucky for me, I was lucky enough to find a new niche, which is the William guy, the British guy. So, and that also became like, I would say it was an accident, because I saw his video, and then I thought, oh, maybe I could react to this, you know? So I did, and then it blew up, and then people loved it. So it became like a series until now. Until now, it slowed down a bit, because I think he learned his lesson. So now
He knows you're on him, right?
so now I'm trying to if I see something like stupid online, I will try to see, okay, does it work? Because it's a character for me now, just like Uncle Roger. He has Uncle Roger, but his real name is Nigel. If you say Nigel, nobody knows who is Nigel. If you say Uncle Roger, oh yeah, Uncle Roger, you know. And then he always wears the orange shirt, right? Same goes to me. So I took inspiration from him.
Right.
So I took that character, the British roasting character, and I wear the same blazer every time, the blue blazer with the black lapel. So people know me as that. If people see me wearing that, oh, it's the British guy. Because if people see me outside, they won't really know. But if I go out wearing that, they'll be like, oh wait, aren't you the British? Yeah.
Right.
Which is interesting.
Right.
So personal branding is really important. Yeah.
Right. So people know you as that character.
Yeah. And even if they know me without that, without me wearing that, they will still say like, "Can you do the laugh? Do the laugh, you know?" And then, which is weird to do it like when I'm not wearing it, because it's kind of like a flow, right? You roast and then you will laugh, but they just asked me to do the laugh. So I was like, okay, I'll do the laugh, okay, and then I'll just like a very zero effort laugh, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, I like it, yeah. So yeah, it's crazy.
Hilarious. Would you say that actually your content is not just made for Malaysians, right? Like it's like international.
Yeah, I am also like grateful. Like a lot of people outside of Malaysia enjoyed the content. They like it when I roast the British etiquette, because obviously if you really see the videos, it's kind of like nonsense, isn't it? Like how to eat a banana using a fork and a knife. Like who eats a banana like that? You know, even though you're like high class there, I don't think to cut a banana like that. Like why, bro? Like what's the point? But I know he does that as a joke, as do I. Because he admitted, I think I saw in a podcast he did, like that's not really a thing. It's a joke. It's like rage bait. I wanted to rage bait those people.
Oh, really?
As do I, like I also do that because I know it's a joke. So I try to tell people, and I also try to make it not directly mean towards him. So I try to make it more stereotypical.
Right.
So because I also like to make fun, but I don't try to be mean. I don't want to be seen as mean,
Right.
So that's also one thing that I've learned in the process of becoming a content creator as well.
Right. How to make fun of something
without being mean.
mean. Right.
Just make it family friendly. There's a gray line that you don't cross. Yeah.
Right. Do you write all your own stuff?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Oh. Yeah.
It takes a while because I have to kind of like try and error the jokes. It's usually like one punchline and then continue with another punchline. So it takes a while for me to get it right. Sometimes it doesn't get right, but it's just something that I just, it's better to just post it, whatever. So yeah. But yeah, I do write my own.
Right.
Ever since the beginning, actually. I never sauce out the jokes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you where do you get this sort of talent from? Doing the impersonation is one thing, but like being able to tell what is a good joke is something else.
I don't know. I guess... Well, I'm always a fan of stand-up comedy. I grew up watching Hari Iskandar, actually.
Oh.
And all those, the Malay stand-up comedy as well as international. So I think that's where I get it from, because they also... And I realized because whenever these stand-up comedians do their stand-up, there's always a build before the punchline.
Right.
So I guess that's how it works. It was never like, oh, I found out I can do this now. I think it's because I grew up watching stand-up comedians. That's how I got it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm always a very curious person, so I've tried to study humor as a science. Yeah, so it's like
I love it, man. I love laughing too, like stupid stuff on the internet. Oh my god, I tell you, my humor is a bit like broken now, but but yeah.
is there stuff that because okay, so you have this character now online, and obviously you when you post stuff, you have to be I not what the right word is, but you have to be in line with this character, more or less, right? You cannot deviate too much. Is there stuff that you wish you could write about if you're not in character? Is there stuff that you think is funny that
I don't know, because I already found this character. It's kind of hard for me to deviate away from it.
right?
Yeah,
right.
even though if I wanted to, if I really think that it's funny, I'll probably just post it in my story. My Instagram story is the only place that I don't use that character.
Right.
But if you see my reels, it's all that character. Most, I would say like 90% nowadays, if you see, it's all that character. I never go, I mean, except if I do like collaboration, like with my friend Mark or Ryan, then that's a bit different.
Right.
But if I'm doing my own personal content, it's always that character, because I feel like if I don't do that character, people won't be as interested.
Right.
Unless if I find it like really funny, like if I'm confident, like, okay, this will work, you know. But it's always something stereotypical anyways, like how the Westerns, they don't use bidet or things like that. So it's always something like that.
Right. Right. So you have your own creator agency now. You still do your own content. Do you do anything outside of these things? Have you thought like do you do stand up or have you thought
No.
stand-up? Yeah. Right.
I've been offered, but I don't think it's the same.
You don't use the same?
I know it's a good stepping point though, like to become bigger, right? But I don't know, I just don't have the confidence. And I feel like the reason why I don't have that confidence is because of social media. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, teenager, I would just go around, and you know how big the DSLRs last time, like it's like that big. And I would just go around, become like a vlogger in public, in the public bus, like, hey, what's up, guys, blah, blah. I used to have that confidence, but if you ask me to do it now, I'll say no.
No.
Yeah, because, you know, people have to realize if you post something online, you're always subject to judgment. You know, you're always subject to not only compliments, but also critics. So it's how you take the critics. So last time, I didn't know anything about this. So obviously, I took it to heart. All the critics like, it's not funny, blah, blah, blah. So obviously, you self-doubt. You know, like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't do this. You know, like, it's not funny to them. What should I do? So I think little by little over the years, it kind of like chipped away my confidence a little bit. So even now, if I do it, I can't go around like, you know, those TikTokers, they just put the camera stand there and then they just dance, blah, 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 in public. I can't do that, man. Like, even if I'm talking, even if I'm not dancing, I'm talking to the camera in public, I can't do it. If there's any campaign that requires me to do that, I'll say no. Really, bro, I cannot. And even hosting, I don't really dare to do it because of the lack of self-confidence. Unless if I know it's a chill event.
Right.
If it's a corporate event that there's so many like red tapes or whatever, I'll be like, I'm worried I would say the wrong things, you know. So yeah, that's the one thing that kind of I would say like in a negative way of social media. Yeah.
That's so surprising.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like as you
like now we're in this room, it's fine because it's a closed space. But if you did it outside, I would say like, no, I'm not interested. Yeah, so luckily it's just this. If you ask me to do outside where the staff are, no way.
Right.
I would never do it.
Right. Yeah. It's surprising because obviously you have a lot of followers now.
Yeah.
You would think the opposite. You become more confident.
Yeah, true.
But it's created a different effect.
Well, I'm only like that if there's a camera on my hand. So if I meet my followers outside, I'm happy to entertain them. You know, I'm myself. So what you see on the internet is what you get in real life. So, but the point I'm trying to say is like, I'm not as confident as I was before with a camera.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why you see my content, it's never outside. It's always in my house. Or even the campaigns, it's always in my house. You know? I never do campaigns outside. Even if I do, I do it, but it's never the, hey, what's up, guys? You know, come to this event, blah, blah, blah. It's never like that.
Never like
I will do it if I really have to do it. So yeah, if it's against my free will, no. I'll say no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, like, so okay, so far you record most of the stuff in like your own studio, right?
I mean, it's not even a studio term. It's my living room.
It's your living room, right? Um, I just very yeah, did not expect that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. But again, I love meeting like my followers outside because they get very excited, and like I said, I like entertaining them as well. So what you see is what you get. It's just that when I'm doing my own recording, it's a little bit weird.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure now when your content got so much reach here, you're gonna get a lot of negative comments. It's very normal, right? You know,
Yeah.
social media is gonna be like that.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you deal with that? Like,
Okay, so last time, like I said, it got to me. You know, I took it personally. But over the years, I basically like ignore them. But I think because I saw something online or something. Because out of, let's say, 100 people, they will always be like, let's say, 5 or 6 negative comments.
Yeah.
But you don't, you know, as a human being, you always take the bad stuff. You know, you always focus on the bad stuff. So I think I saw something and something spiritual or something, and I try to not focus on the bad stuff, focus on the good stuff. You know, so that's what I did. Because also most of the time, people who write these things, they don't really know you in real life. They know you from watching that one video, so and then they jump into conclusions. You know, so. Over the years, like whatever, I don't think I get it now, and also because I don't really check anymore. I just post and then okay, whatever. But if let's say you're someone who is trying to, you know, create content and you're worried about the negative comments, I would say don't worry too much because it won't affect your life if you unless you let it, you know. And there are so many positive comments. If let's say it's a positive content, a lot of people loved it. You know, it's so funny, blah blah blah. Try to focus on that. You know, don't try to focus on the bad stuff because there's no point. You're just wasting your energy, to be honest. So yeah.
right.
Yeah. I learned it like quite late in my journey, but I'm so glad I did. Like nowadays, if I have like a negative comment or like people finding it's not funny, why are you making fun of the British? You know, so racist. You know, I'll be like, it's not racist, bro. Like relax. And sometimes I just reply with a GIF. Like a funny GIF, yeah, like a meme. I'm a meme guy.
Right.
So I was like, you know, like, okay. So yeah, it's just that, bro.
And
But
you only learned it later.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so you must have gone through.
Yeah, because like my wife, when she started doing content, she would get the same thing. Like, oh, I'm so annoyed at this person, you know, telling me this. But then I told her like, oh yeah, relax. You know, like they don't know you in real life. You know, you just have to just, you know, like listen to one ear, go out one ear, you know, just like that. You know, don't really take it too hard because if you take it too hard, you're just making your like bringing your energy down because they don't even know you in real life. If I doubt that if they see you in real life, they say it to your face. They won't because it's just like behind of a screen. That's why they can say these things, right? And then social media is like that. You have trolls and you have like people who like to critique. It's just social media. It's just the part of nature.
Right.
Social media.
Right. Yeah. No. And then I think logically it makes perfect sense. And I think so sometimes even hardly we are very active on social media. So it's very easy to understand. But when it happens, like your natural human self still wants to respond in you know.
Because a lot of people don't see the good thing; they always see the bad thing. Like let's say hardly, you guys create job opportunities for a lot of people, a lot of Malaysians, and if let's say one bad thing happen in terms of the job description, or let's say whatever negative happen, they always like they will forget the positive thing. They don't see the positive thing. It's a natural thing in social media, so you can't really do anything about that. It's part of the package.
Part of the package, right? and if you're gonna enter this world, you have to just
have to be prepared for that and accept it. You will always get it. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like you know, a lot of companies and brands obviously want to be active on social media right now, and I mean to this point, right? But also because everyone knows it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And therefore, the tendency is to kind of play it a little bit safe.
Yeah.
But sometimes you play a little bit safe, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, so this is where the
because
tension...
you look more corporate. Like people
Right.
don't find it interesting. Like, ugh. So that's why if you go to Threads, a lot of these companies are going into Threads, and they are trying to basically like relate to the public, like the way they post. Also, like I will give you a good example is Zeus Coffee. How Zeus Coffee replies to the comments, and how they tweet and how they kind of like catch on to like current trending topics. It's very smart of them to basically relate to the public, and also people would think coffee Zeus, coffee Zeus, coffee Zeus. People used to think coffee Starbucks, but not anymore. So coffee Zeus, coffee Zeus, coffee Zeus. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of Threads, do you think it's way more popular in Malaysia now compared to like Twitter or X?
Yeah, I think so. I recently went to a Meta event, and they told me they had like, I forgot, but I would say like 500. It's either 5 million or 500 million new users in a span of like 1 or 2 years, which is a lot.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like it's way popular now compared to like maybe 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, and also where all the makcik bawangs come in. There's a lot of AI stuff as well, which is weird. But that's where I get my news, like what's going on in the world.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
right,
it's there. Everyone is there.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right.
it could get a bit like draining sometimes, like reading all these negative comments and of other people.
Right.
I was like, why are you saying this? Like, why are you rage baiting a lot of people on Threads? Like, but it's quite interesting to see. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, interesting. I mean, I used to spend a lot of time on X. There's I follow these tech bros because we're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
tech company, right?
I think they all shifted to Threads, I think.
Right.
Probably because of Elon Musk, I don't know.
Right, maybe. He's an interesting guy. Yeah, he divides people. So, so what's the happiest? What's the thing that you love most about what you do now?
Well, the ability to spend time with my wife. That's a PR answer. If you're watching this. But yeah, it's just the ability to I would say a lot of free time. Just to work at my own pace, and also to be able to work when I'm outside of Malaysia. Yeah, that's a very good plus for me because my wife is Spanish, and sometimes we go to Spain and spend some time with the family, and I'm able to do some campaign work or even my own content while I'm in Spain. Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
It's
so
just the different time zones. That's it. Maybe the posting, if the posting is at 8 p.m., it will be like 7 a.m. there. I just have to wake up and post. But other than that, it works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, so you actually based in Spain sometime.
Yeah. For like, I'm going. I mean, we go always in the summer and Christmas. So like for a month. So obviously a month I need to do campaigns. I need to do content. So I'll just do it there. Yeah. Unless if it requires me to be somewhere physically, then I'll stay here for a while, and then but I'll still go then.
Oh, right.
If it's like an online campaign, it's no problem. I just do it there.
Oh, interesting. Right. And so because of what you do now, you have a lot of flexibility, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Time, location, and all that.
Which is rare nowadays. Yeah.
It's many people's dream jobs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I say the only downside is it's not long term. Yeah. So you kind of have to branch out, like I said. Stay relevant and branch out to something else.
Eventually, right?
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you plan to open a restaurant or if you happen to open a production company, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, if you want to venture to business, just branch out. Just don't do content forever. Because it's not going to work.
Right.
At least to my knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I suppose because you've kind of built a brand for yourself personally, that now you have a creative agency. I don't know what else you want to do in the future, but you can kind of leverage that, right? Like,
Yeah.
like
that's
you
true.
already have people who know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. So, like for me, I've always wanted to venture into, like let's say business. I want to do something business, but I don't want to do just for the sake of being me. I don't want to use me as the face. I want to do like a proper old traditional business, like whatever it is, like a product, let's say, or a product that works, obviously. And also, so this creative agency is a good opportunity for me to do that as well, because not only it's a business, but it's also a creative business where I can kind of like give my input in a certain way Let's say if a client comes to me asking about, okay, we have this USP, blah, blah, blah. We have this campaign. What is the best way to approach to get the max engagement? So I'll give them my thought as a creator, because a lot of agencies, they don't do this. A lot of agencies, they work as an agency and they think as an agency. So what they get when they work with Four Sons is they get creators' input towards their campaign. So because I know how the algorithm works, I know the creative process of how other creative people work, and I know how to make a boring, let's say a boring campaign, a boring USP, a boring product to make it at least look interesting on social media. So I guess that's the advantage of us, I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So if a client watching this, Process Media, so you plug it.
Are your customers mostly Malaysia, or do you outside? Do you have
Outside, we have outside as well.
Right.
But we work mostly with like locals.
I was curious because your audience was clearly international. I think a very international audience. But whether that also gave you opportunities internationally.
And that's why I also tell my clients that if you hire me, you have to let me do the things that I want while not jeopardizing the USPs. Because sometimes they come a campaign with okay, we want you to, like a suggestion, like day in a life or whatever. But I told them it's not going to work for me. Me personally, okay? I'm not talking about other creators, but me personally, because I know how my followers are. If they see this, they're going to be bored. They're not going to like, they're not going to engage and stuff like that. So what I tell them is that you just let me do my own content, like how I usually do it, but in an ad-like way I will include all the USPs you want me to say, but you just let me to do it my way so that you get more engagement, more comments, more likes, more shares.
Right.
And it works.
Right.
I have a few campaign videos that I did very well because they let me do how I want to do it. Yeah, I was also surprised. I was like, oh wow, sometimes he performs better than my own video. I don't know. Yeah.
Do they get nervous when they give you this creative freedom?
I'll say no. They're pretty chill because obviously if they approach me, because they like the way I do my work, my videos. So obviously they're okay if I do it my way. So yeah, and I do it because it's for them as well. I don't do it just because I'm Arieff Yong. I want to do it my way. No, I do it because it's good for them as well. It's good engagement for them. Like you don't want you pay someone and then it's like you pay someone and then you do the outcome is not that good. Well, what's the point, right? You might as well pay someone and then you have a good outcome. So that's what I'm trying to tell all these clients. Like if you hire a creator who has like a specific niche that they do, just let them do what they do. While mentioning all the USPs, obviously, no problem. But, like some clients, they are very like nitpicky when it comes to all this. Oh, I want it this way, I want it this way. So that's also one thing that Four Sons Media have an advantage on because they have that. They have my point of view on certain things for, let's say, other creators that they hire under Four Sons Media. They have that POV of, okay, what do you think will work as a creator? Aside from an agency, because I think a lot of agencies, they don't know this. They just rely on the creators. Okay, do whatever the client says, and then in the end, the result isn't that good because every creator is different.
Right.
But for Four Sons Media, sometimes I do help the creators to, if they don't know what to do, so I'll just look at the profile and then I'll say like, okay, maybe you can do it this way because I see like your audience love it like this.
Right.
So you take this and then you add on with the campaign USPs, blah blah blah. And then you have the end product.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, when they're buying this service, they're not just buying your face, right? They're buying the talent of delivering this message.
Exactly. And the creativity as well.
The creativity and all that. I've got 3 last questions for you.
Okay.
First one is, especially since you run a creative agency, a creators agency, and you've been doing this for a while. How competitive is this industry in Malaysia?
It's pretty competitive. I think there's a lot of agencies out there nowadays compared to like 10 years ago. So, but obviously we have just like the influencer community. You have big ones, middle ones, and small ones. So like big ones like aspect ratio, then so they're like big agencies, and then we have like, for me, we are considered like mid range, mid size. So there are so many agencies out there, but the good thing is that we work together. You know, like let's say if agency A don't have the influencers that the client wants, they'll branch out, like ask, hey, do you have this kind of influencer or not? Do you have this kind of influencer? And then we work together. So everybody gets a piece of the pie, which is good.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So it is competitive, but you still collaborate.
Yeah.
That's
It's not like
interesting.
for an agency on their own, you know? Like if you're an agency, you can still work together with other agencies, which is good.
Right. And as a creator, it is crowded, right? But so they have to kind of find their niche, as you mentioned just.
That's true. Yeah. So as a creator, you have to be smart enough to find a niche that works. You know, like foodie. Okay, I'll give you one perfect example of a foodie. Sam, Hungry Sam. So Hungry Sam is a foodie, and there's so many foodies out there, like the creator foodie. But Hungry Sam is smart enough because he has his tagline, the really good or not, you know. So people know him because of that. So you have to find something that differentiate you between all the other creators. And then he only does his reviews in the car with a white shirt, and he never spills. So that's also one of the things that people know him of. Like, oh, you're wearing a white shirt, and then, you know, tak tumpah and all, you know, very good. How did you do it? You know, things like that. So, because again, there are so many foodie creators out there, but he is one of the foodie that is more, I would say, like, people will know more because he differentiates from other foodie creators. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Right. Second last question. I suppose I consider you as, it's a bit of a cliche word, but you are like doing what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Right? And but what is the harsh truth about living this way in Malaysia? Like doing what you're passionate.
Oh.
Specifically in Malaysia, you know.
I don't know. I mean, I would say it's more of everyone's watching what you're doing. You know, you don't get that privacy sometimes. But I would say for me personally, I don't really get that because I only get recognized more if I'm out with my wife, just because she's ang mo. because without her, I look like Malay guy number 3 or something. It's true. I tell you, it's true. So, funny story. And let me tell you why this is true. So me and my wife, we went to an event. Okay, we went to an event. And then I told her, okay, I need to go to the toilet. So I went to the toilet. So the one that's with her is another Malay guy from Falsans Media. He doesn't look like me at all. And then a fan approaches him saying, Arieff, boleh tak nak ambil gambar? But real Arieff is in the toilet. But just because he was beside my wife, he thought I was Arieff. So, and it didn't only happen once. It happened like twice in one event. So can you imagine? Just because of that. So that's how I know.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah. So anybody can be Arieff Yong. As long as you have Sylvia on this side.
So people remember you as the guy with the more wife.
Because normally if I go outside, they will look at my wife Sylvia and then they will find, oh, where's Arieff? Like that. But they never go the other way around because I look like the normal Malay guy. Oh yeah. It's interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
I got that theory proven.
Right. You're only recognized when you're with your wife. Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. So so you don't even have to wear a disguise, right?
No, I don't really. I don't get that like, oh my god, review. No. I'm okay. I'm okay with going to public and just being myself, you know. I'm okay. But yeah.
I love it. Okay, last question. So what's one old school mindset you think Malaysians need to let go of if they want to like be successful today? Grow and be successful.
I would say hardworking. You don't have to be hardworking to succeed, I would say. Because a lot of old old school cliches. They say like you have to be hard work to be successful, but I think nowadays in the digital world, you don't really have to. Obviously you still have, you need to do some work. Obviously, I'm not saying that it's easy, but I would say like it's not as hard as last time. Like last time you have to like kind of like grit your teeth, working 9 to 5, blah, blah, blah. And physically and mentally. But I think nowadays you can just do it kind of mentally. So you don't have to work too hard to be successful in whatever you're doing. Especially related to social media. Yeah. Because everything's easy nowadays, I would say. And people are getting lazier as well.
Right.
Including me with ChatGPT, I tell you. Because last time, obviously, I was working so hard. I was going on YouTube, watching tutorials, how to do this, how to do that, as simple as how to do a transition. And nowadays, with CapCut, you can just do it like that, easy. And I was working, and at the same time, I was working in Mary Brown, I remember, as a waiter, as a cashier. I was working and also doing some content on the side at the same time. But at that time, I was like in high school, like 17 or 18. I was still working. But I would say nowadays, at the digital age and with AI coming in, the number one skill that people should learn is AI. Is how to use the prompt. Because I think in the next 5 years, 10 years, AI will be more successful. That you can't. And nowadays, you can't really tell, right? Like, even you see something, you'll say like, is this AI or is this real? Even I get it sometimes. Like, is this AI or is it real? So I think if you were to learn something for your future, to anyone watching this, you have to learn about AI. That you have to acquire that skill. I'm not talking about coding. I'm not talking about software engineering. It's a good skill, but AI prompts. To be good at AI prompts, like, because AI is not perfect yet, but with the correct prompt, you can generate very good results, even though it still looks AI.
Right.
Yeah, even though AI, they say like it's not good, but if you use it correctly to your advantage, I feel like it could benefit you somehow.
Right. It's interesting you say that. I noticed that AI is not to everyone, but to certain groups, is triggering almost an allergic reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
To the word AI.
I mean, I guess it's the same with everything, because people don't like change, and you either join them or be left behind. And then you just have to adapt. And I give you an example. Let's say smartphones. A lot of people last time had a lot of doubts with keyless phones. They say like, oh, how are you gonna do this? How are you gonna do that? Let's say BlackBerry, for example. BlackBerry was the craze last time. Everybody is like, what's your BBID? And then iPhone came out, the first ever iPhone. And then BlackBerry refuses to adapt to become buttonless, right? And then where's BlackBerry now? They're dead already, right? So that's how you should do it. The same goes to anything in life, really, or AI. And now it's AI.
Now it's AI.
Yeah. You should really get into it before it's kind of like too late. It's kind of like in the middle now to me. Like in the beginning, it was really like, oh, okay. But now in 2026, it's in the middle. But I feel like in 5-10 years, it's going to be perfect already. Like there's no stopping. And even though they say like, oh, don't waste water, blah, blah. I mean, what can you do, Like it's in like Thanos say, it's inevitable. It's true. I mean, I think so.
The machine is moving very fast.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. And that's the worst thing, like you say like we shouldn't use AI, but actually AI is learning from us. Like whatever we post, whatever we say, they learn and then they kind of like adapt, make it better to their own. So all these like the ChatGPT or Gronk or whatever, they adapt and learn. So I think like I said, in 5-10 years, we are cooked.
It's interesting you say that. So I'm sort of processing in a way that even if you don't directly use the AI,
you kind of use it. You kind of contribute to it.
You're contributing to it. Even when you're online, you're contributing.
Even if you like swear you're not going to use AI, as long as you're online, you're kind of contributing
you are part
somehow.
Of the machine, right?
Yes. Yeah. Unless you go off grid, so that's different.
Right.
But yeah.
Love it. That's a great way to end this this episode. So thank you, Arieff, for coming.
My pleasure. My pleasure. It was a good chat. Good chat.
I enjoyed chatting you. I love meeting you in person.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. All right, awesome. All right, thanks for hanging out with us and getting to the end of the episode. If you like this, follow us or hit the subscribe button. It will help us bring on more amazing guests and makes the whole show better for you. So thanks again and see you in the next one.